a little more of that. But if there was a formula for happiness, what is one thing that would have to be in it?
I would think getting out of your head, getting out of your own preconceived notions about what happiness is, and focus more on things that make you feel happy, and then integrate that into different situations, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if your happiness for you is being with family, then I think you should incorporate your buying decisions and your living decisions around family. You're an artist, you need to present yourself with face to be an artist, right?
Yeah.
In everything you do. That's my off-the-cuff answer to that.
All right, it makes sense. Well, in those 50,000+ closings, how have you seen emotions affect people's decision making?
So for sure, anybody that has to this point purchased a home definitely knows about the emotions that build up almost in a crescendo. And I can tell within 10 seconds of somebody walking into my closing room how their journey has been. I would think that as realtors and as closing attorneys, being able to recognize that is number one skill you have to acquire. By the time they get to closing, some of them are super excited. It is the celebration at the end of a journey. And for other people, they are just happy to crawl and fall across the finish line. They're tired of everybody involved. They're tired of seeing houses, negotiating and arguing over little things associated with just happy to be.
Yeah, that's a great list, because I definitely think of the money showing up, right? As from the mortgage side, that's why I'm with Affinity Home Lending, is I know that it's going to close. I know it's clear to close a week in advance. The money's definitely showing up, because the stress I see on people, unnecessary stress, a life debilitating stress of here we are, and now we're going to wait for 4 hours for if the money's going to show up or not. But that's a great list of other things, that it's the accumulation of just all of these hard decisions at once.
You really have to know the people that you're working with and what they're going through. We have a situation this week where we need to exchange information with our buyers and sellers, obviously, right? And we have this seller that's just not communicating, and everybody else is getting a little irritated. And come to find out, this seller has a daughter in Florida that's battling thyroid cancer. And last thing they want to deal with is producing a homeowners association letter. So once we were armed with that information, we could adjust around that person's emotions accordingly and give them space. And
settle the buyers too. I mean, there's an answer. There's a reason that it's like this.
Yeah, you can say that of buyers. Some people are not moving because it's a joyous occasion. Right. Some people are moving because of death or financial circumstances changing. I mean, you have to know the person you're working with and meet them where their emotions are, really.
Just talking with a realtor, Lily Stevens, that and we talked about on one piece just exactly that, the human element, walking alongside them, being face to face for sure. Technology has empowered people to research more, to do more on their own. There's a push. The bigger companies would love to take out more of the humans, and I don't say it as a push to keep the humans in it. I want what's best for the consumer, but it seems like there's going to be something lost in that.
I mean, I can tell you, I see it all the time. You are a lender that stays engaged. You show up at your closings. The realtors that treat their profession like a calling show up to their closing.
Right.
That human element needs to be there. I mean, yes, we could practically email and AI and text our way through all this, right?
Right.
But we've leaned in at Hartman Law. We've leaned into the space of providing a closing that's actually an experience for the people that want to show up to closing and they want to celebrate that event. We are all in for that.
Yeah.
Because that's just as powerful as being efficient with somebody's time, is giving them that emotional experience.
And I'm sure you must have met some detractors along the way. I mean, you national headline, right? You bought the last of the Chaco's Tacos. Was that the right thing a couple of years ago?
Yes, it was the most fabricated and completely made up national headline that I could come up with in the moment. But yes, we did. For those of you that remember the Chaco Taco shortage, the rumor of the demise of the Chaco Taco, we just went out and I sent a couple of my paralegals around to every mom and pop gas station that had an ice cream cooler, and we bought them up, room in our own ice cream cooler,
right?
And got a good laugh out of that. It was something that was heartwarming. It lightened the mood for closings for a period of time there.
The last thing is just, is there advice to anybody that's watching, is what is something people can do or not do to increase the overall happiness in their home?
Increase the overall happiness in their home. I would say give yourself space to enjoy your emotions and to have them, and that includes giving your spouse that space as well. That's a life lesson, right? But definitely in the buying process, I feel like you have to allow that emotional component there. You have to allow yourself to be angry or excited, especially.
Okay, not say I can't do this. Not to deny them, even the negative emotions.
I think you have to let people play it out. That's why when I'm dealing with someone that's angry, the first thing I want to do, I want to understand and give them a chance. I may already know I want to say to this person, but you have got to let that person run the process of getting it out, right?
Right.
And I think
they'll hate you if you say say it before they
Oh, right.
worked through
Yeah.
it.
It's somewhat insulting to say, hey, I've solved your problem before you even tell me what it is. And I think, especially as men, I hope this doesn't seem sexist, but I think as men, we deprive ourselves of the emotion of joy a lot of times. And we should allow ourselves to be excited about the home buying process with our families,
Yeah.
You don't have to be the one that says, well, that garage is going to be too small, or that room's not big enough for Junior.
Right.
Try to enjoy the process a little.
Leave yourself and those around you emotional space to feel those emotions and make good decisions on buying your home and on living every day together in them. Andy Hartman with Hartman Law, thank you so much for being here.
The honor, pleasure. Thank you very much.